Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. And today, y'all, I get to show you my garden, my in-ground outside garden. So this is the garden tour for July. It's the last week of July. And y'all know that if you've been following me, you know we just put this garden in ground this year. So this is our first season growing in the ground outside. And so I'm excited at the progress. As you saw the clip, I kind of just gave you just an overview of what the garden is looking like. But let's dive in and let me show you row by row what is going on. I'll show you the things that are doing really well, the things that may not be doing well, and kind of what the plan is going forward. So let's go. So I'm going to start with the far left row and let you see our watermelons. So if you don't know, this is called the ground spot. It's supposed to be bright yellow, but this one looks to be ready a little bit too far. It may be a little bit too far gone just because I just pressed it and it's kind of soft there. So I need to get that one today. But you can see that our watermelons have gotten to a pretty nice size. We've already harvested 4 already. Like that one's a good size. So in terms of the watermelons, you want the tendril, this part there, to be brown. And then you want the ground spot to be yellow. I'll walk and show you a few more. Some are small, some are bigger than others, but I have several I see here that are probably ready. Now the watermelon variety that I just showed you that we planted all sugar babies watermelons. And so the rule of thumb for watermelons is that when you tap it, there should be a hollow sound. The tendril, the little stem part, should be brown. And that ground spot that I showed you should be like a bright yellow, right? So I'll tell you, the tendrils, I have not seen them turn brown yet. But we actually harvested 4 last week, and they tasted amazing. They were ready. So I say all that to say I kept waiting for the brown, And my brother was actually out here, and he was like, you need to pull these watermelons. And he pulled them without my permission. Right, but he was right, because when we cut into them, they were amazing. So I got 2 out of the 3. It sounds hollow, and the ground spot is yellow. Maybe the sugar baby tendrils don't turn brown. Maybe that's for bigger watermelons, but these taste good. So I got a few more to harvest. But you can see that the watermelons have done well. This is my first time growing watermelons, so I'm really, really excited that one, the fruit showed up, but then when we tested it out, it tasted really, really, really good. And you know that watermelons are at a premium at the grocery store. They're like $7 or $8, but I have plenty for free. So let me show you the rest of what's going on. So one of the things with the watermelons, again, I would say once they started being harvested, like you see, that one has gone bad. Some are smaller than others that are not ready. So there's been a mix. Like I said, we harvested 4 good ones already. We have plenty more that are coming up. And then, so this whole row, again, is watermelons until we get about halfway. And then that's where the cantaloupes start. So the one thing I will tell you on this row, and I see there's some watermelons that are bad that I've left too long. But one thing that I will tell you about this particular row with the watermelons is that we did not plan this as great, because you can see here, this is at the edge of the garden, and you can see the grass is right beside it. What we should have done was extended more black paper all the way to the left of this, so that there was a clear distinction between the watermelon and the grass. And then now the weeds are coming in. I didn't have a problem with weeds at first, but now they are. And I think it's just because as we weed eat and cut the grass close to this area, it's created these weeds. So I have a few cantaloupes that small. You can see that there. And it looks like I have a bigger one down here. That's pretty new. So that looks good. So overall, the cantaloupes could have done definitely much better, but you live and you learn. I still got fruit We know that we need to put black paper and extend it out. We just haven't had the time. You know, in the garden, everything is priority. So it's hard to get to everything. Y'all have heard me talk all summer long how the garden feels like it's about to overtake me. But I am proud that I actually have fruit, but definitely need to do a better job the next time. So let me show you the row beside the cantaloupes and the melons. My sunflowers were doing good. Some of them are still doing okay. But you can see like that one is taking a beating. It has just been so hot. The heat index has been like 107 to 110 here. It's been just miserable. But the row beside the watermelon cantaloupe are peppers and tomatoes. So that's an orange bell pepper that is beautiful. Let's see if it's any good. It actually is. That's near perfect. No damage. Awesome. Usually I get them way before they turn colors. Because once they turn colors, usually they start to go bad. So that's really good. So yeah, you can see the peppers all along this way. It's kind of hard to walk just because as things have filled out, it is much more compacted. That's a big old weed there that needs to come out. I'm telling y'all, I didn't have problems with the weeds until like the last 2 or 3 weeks or so, which I guess is pretty good considering. But you can see these are shishitos that are turning red. You see the backdrop of all the tomatoes there. Those are the sun gold. I have more than enough to say grace over. But look at this beauty here. That's a zinnia. I think that's the polar bear. It's so pretty. Y'all know I love to have flowers along with my garden. So, again, you can see here. That's hot pepper, cayenne pepper. There. That's shishitos that are turning red. Again, I planted way too many shishitos, trying them out. And then you can see this plant here has tons of peppers on them. Tons. You can see all the tomatoes there. Look at that one. As you can see, there's definitely some harvesting that I need to do. This week has been kind of crazy, for sure. So you can see all the pepper plants are doing well. You can see a lot of these have turned red, which means they're ready. Those are hot peppers. You can see some of the cherry tomatoes there. They have done really well. So one thing I'll say about the cherry tomatoes on the sun gold, overall they have done really well. I have had some issues with splitting, and that's really after a big rain. So when you have splitting on your tomatoes, it's caused by inconsistent watering. So I water my garden every single day out here, so it's consistent in that regard. But what has happened is that we've had periods of, I hate to say drought, but we've gone 2 or 3 weeks without rain, and then all of a sudden there's a monsoon for like 2 days, right? And so that shift in water has caused my tomatoes to split some. And so I've noticed it after a big rain that the tomatoes are splitting. So what I try to do, if I know that it's going to rain, if I can, I try to come out here and harvest as much as I can to prevent that. So that's just a tip if you didn't know that. But overall, the cherry tomatoes have done outstanding. I have the sun gold, and I have some pineapple tomatoes, which is a bit bigger than a cherry tomato. Then I also have Matt's large red cherry tomatoes as well. Y'all, look at the 4th row. These are my purple hull peas, and they have gone bonkers. You can see a lot of them have turned purple, which means they're ready to be harvested. But it goes pretty much halfway down. You can see all of the purple and how it has just filled out completely. So, and then the row beside it are green beans that have had pretty much a late start. These are the Blue Lake variety, but you can see I'm starting to get green beans on them that I need to come out here and get. But look at all of these peas. This is unreal. Absolutely unreal. So as you keep going down, peas and green beans. And then look at that pretty marigold. I absolutely love walking through my garden, seeing the food, and then seeing gorgeous flowers. Like, it's just like, pause, rest, enjoy. I love it. So I'm always going to have flowers in my garden. That marigold is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think it's important to make sure that you're building a garden that you enjoy, right? If flowers are not your thing, no big deal, right? No big deal. But if flowers are your thing, then be okay with putting flowers in your garden. The main thing is that you want the garden to be a place that you enjoy coming to, not drudgery, not that you have to. But when you walk through your garden, when you sit down and look at your garden, there are peaks of your personality in it. There are areas where you're like, oh, it makes me feel so good, or, oh, I did that, whatever the case may be. So make sure that you make your garden your own. So right behind the green beans is the okra. You can see that there is some yellowing. They are definitely slowing down, but they have produced really well. You can see I have quite a bit under there. And as I peek through all the way down the row, I can see more. But they are slowing down, but I cannot complain. It has produced extremely well. But that's kind of how squash does. It has a peak, it does really well, and then it starts to kind of, die back. I've never had squash last the entire season just perfectly. If you have, let me know. Then on this very last row, half of the row is okra. Let me walk you down here. We have had a lot of damage with Japanese beetles, as you can see here with the laciness, but I don't know if it slowed them down from producing, because I don't know what could have been, but they have been producing extremely well and growing. They're really tall. They used to be like down here, and now they're up here. You can kind of see the height as I back out. So even though we've had a lot of Japanese beetle damage, they have still been growing pretty good. Almost too good, to the fact that you have to really pick them in the morning and in the evening. And I haven't been out here in a couple of days, and so I have some that are pretty much already gotten too big. Here is the burgundy okra. And I haven't even cooked any okra yet. I've just been freezing it. I haven't made any yet. So I'm curious to see if the burgundy okra tastes any different. And all of these have gotten too big, so I'm just gonna have to compost those. But then there's still okra going down here. All the way down until we get to the corn. This last section is the corn. You can see as I walk down here, the part that we've harvested is already starting to die back, and it just needs to be pulled up and composted. Look at my sunflower on the ground. I digress. I have had issues. Look how pretty that is on the ground. Is that not beautiful? I have had issues with my sunflowers, almost like just the weight of it. I've had 2 fall over already. What can you do? We were successful with getting one to sit up, but then it fell again. So anywho, this is the corn that was there. You can see I still have some left to be harvested. We probably have harvested about 25 ears of corn so far. And the first part I harvested was good. See, there's one that's still ready to be harvested. There's another one. And there's more down here. This was a row that we planted later. So it's just now being done. We still have plenty there. But then all the ones that we harvested already, it produced this too, and it was pretty much done. Okay guys, so that's a quick rundown. Some of the rows I couldn't even get in between. So if it seemed like the shop was a little further away, it's because it was a little further away. But man, the dogs just had to chase some deer. Or whatever. Y'all can see, I still don't have a fence around my garden. It's still part of the plan. But when I say the Lord has been gracious, I'm so thankful that the deer have not eaten my food. But they get a ways off, not close, but it's like they're scouting or whatever. So the dogs just ran them off. So thankful for my dogs. But so here's my recap of the garden the last week of July. For my first in-ground garden, I think it's done well, right? It has been overwhelming. If I'm being honest, it has been a lot, a lot to manage, right? You know, I don't do this full time, so it's been a lot to pick everything on every row every single day. There's always harvesting. There's always, right? You pick it, then you got to do something with it, right? And then you have the periods of I've been out of town or I'm in town and then it's raining. You can't get out here and you miss a day and it's like you've missed 7 days, right? So it has definitely been a learning experience. This is a lot to manage, plus the high tunnel, plus the part behind my house, which I haven't even showed you. So I've learned a lot, and what I'm learning is to give myself a lot of grace. Oh my goodness, a lot of grace, because as I walked around, I saw plenty of things that need to be harvested, which I am going to harvest when I get done with this video. And I saw plenty of things that have gone bad because I haven't been able to get it, that I've lost. But what I also see is a lot of harvest, a lot of things that are ready to be picked that haven't gone bad. I've seen a lot where I can provide for my family, right? I've seen a lot of things that I can preserve, right? And so like today, I'm going to choose to sit in that, right? I'm not going to beat myself up about what I haven't done or what it looks like. I'm not going to beat myself up about the weeds, because at the end of the day, I'm doing more than I was doing last year, right? I've learned more this year than I did last year. And that's why I always say it is a journey. It is a journey. So when you get to a journey, you're constantly on your way to your destination, right? And I don't know that you ever arrive at the gardening destination. You learn along the way. There's some pit stops along the way. Sometimes you sit down and take a little rest. Sometimes you speed up. Sometimes you slow down. That's all part of the journey, right? And so I'm thankful for what has happened in this space. So in terms of like what I'm going to do next steps. So the plan is, I think, I haven't completely decided, I want to try planting some stuff out here for the fall, right? I wasn't going to do that because I'm like, oh, can I do that? I think I can. Yeah. I don't know that I can do the winter, but I'm thinking I can do the fall, right? And plant some squash and cabbages and lettuce and things like that. And I'm also thinking about maybe, I don't know if I want to dedicate a space to garlic. I may just still do that in the raised bed behind my house. But let me know if I'm thinking about this right. I think I can still do a fall garden. I'm in zone 7A. I'm in Tennessee. So I think I can still do a fall garden. If I can do it in my high tunnel, which my high tunnel, you know, it can go fall and winter. And I've done stuff behind my house, fall and winter, with row covers. I don't know that I would want to put a row cover out here. Just the space is so big, right? But I'm thinking about planting something in next month, mid-August, for a fall crop, like maybe October-ish or so, before it gets a really bad frost. I'm thinking about it. We shall see. Because I am going to have space. So the corn, obviously we're going to pull that up, the part that we've done. I still have this space where the green beans, the provided green beans were, that's still empty. The squash, when it's done, I can pull that up. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks or so, there's stuff that I can pull up and we'll have some open space available. I just have to see kind of how my time goes and how I'm managing everything else, because I definitely want to make sure that I have a fall/winter garden in the high tunnel, because it'd be crazy not to, because that's one of the whole points, is season extension, right? And I'll be able to do a lot of stuff in there just like I was last year. So anywho, but I think I want to try my hand at doing something in the fall in the ground outside. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Not 100% sure yet. If you have any tips, any suggestions, let me know. And if you live close to me, come get some of this food, right? Come get some of this food. Come help me harvest, do something, right? So thank you guys so much for going along this journey with me, showing you the video of the garden tour of the outside garden. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, share it on your social media. Remember, gardening is a journey. It takes all of us, y'all. We all are here to support, encourage, learn, and grow together. So let's grow together. I'll see you next time.